AM 590 WCAB Rutherford with FM translator service on W265DW at 100.9.
Today, President Biden will deliver a eulogy at the funeral for Senator Bob Dolb. Thursday in the Capitol Rotunda, the president said of his former colleague in the Senate,
We genuinely respected one another as colleagues, as fellow Americans. It was real. It wasn't fake.
A federal appeals court rejected former President Trump's attempt to shield documents from the House committee that's investigating the January 6th Capitol riot. ABC's Aaron Katersky has more.
The court said the former president has provided no basis to override the current president's judgment that the records are needed for a critical legislative inquiry. The court said it did not come to this conclusion lightly, given how critical confidentiality of presidential communications can be. But the decision said there is a national interest in and pressing need for the prompt disclosure of these documents.
An appeals court in London overturned a lower court decision and paved the way for WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange to be extradited to the U.S., where he faces 17 counts of espionage. A judge had earlier denied extradition as lawyers maintain his mental health was too fragile. Another appeal is likely. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky signed off on COVID-19 boosters for people aged 16 and 17 as the Omicron variant's been detected in more than 25 states.
We're facing a variant that has the potential to require more immunity to be protected.
Actor Jussie Smollett convicted of 5 counts in Chicago for falsely reporting a hate crime. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you want to be a hero for the holidays? How about getting your loved one a new iPhone? That's right. Pure Talk has iPhone 12 starting at just $479 through the end of the year. And sure, they have 13s too. Switch to Pure Talk. Great nationwide 5G coverage. Yes, the same coverage as the big guys, but the average family saves over $800 a year. Now that's just smart. There's no need to overpay for Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile. Plus, with Pure Talk's 30-day risk-free guarantee, you've got nothing to lose. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. And like I said, the iPhone 12, just $479. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Jill 50, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Plus, save on a new phone. That's pound 250, say Jill 50. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless. Some restrictions apply. See site for details.
Black students at a high school in the Houston area say they feel threatened after reading a text thread between a group of white classmates. A discussion about taking a bus to the East Bernard High prom turned into a request to ban black people from the bus, then an exchange of racial slurs and a threat of hanging. 16-year-old Tyra Sadler said she feels uncomfortable being there now.
I just don't want to go to that school anymore.
And her mother, Tiffany, adds,
She's supposed to go to school to learn, not be afraid to go to school because they're talking about hanging. You know, that's a huge threat.
The district says it's disciplining the students who were involved. In southern Mexico, a truck full of migrants crashed, killing more than 50 people. Over 100 were hurt. A survivor says most of the passengers were from Guatemala and Honduras and were trying to reach the U.S. A former NFL standout was found dead in his Georgia home late Thursday night. He played mostly for the Denver Broncos.
Demaryius Thomas was a 4-time Pro Bowler with the Broncos, posting 5 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons in Denver, winning the Super Bowl to cap the 2015 season. In a statement, police in Roswell, Georgia, said preliminary information is that his death stems from a medical issue. Thomas's family believes a seizure was the cause. Demaryius Thomas would have been 34 on Christmas Day. Todd Ant, ABC News.
And auto racing legend Al Unser, a 4-time winner of the Indy 500, died after a 17-year fight with cancer. He was 82. This is ABC News.
500,000 businesses connect using Zoom, a single platform for video, phone, chat, and conference rooms. Zoom enables real-time collaboration no matter where your teams are. Global enterprises trust the easy-to-use, reliable, and secure Zoom platform to power high-performance teams. Empower your workforce with Zoom. Save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the list.
Good morning, everyone. We're seeing a mostly cloudy and milder start to your Friday. For this afternoon, that mostly cloudy sky stays with us. A few small showers are possible as well. And highs today are in the mid to upper 50s and low 60s. Mostly cloudy sky overnight tonight from the low to mid 50s Saturday morning. For Saturday afternoon, we'll see a mostly cloudy sky with a few small showers possible. Highs are in the upper 60s and low 70s. But then more rain arrives from west to east Saturday late in the evening and continues overnight. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Zach. Did you folks get rain a little bit this morning? We did. Got a little rain shower, and it was misting a little when I came out. I don't think it's doing anything out there right now, but we are 41 degrees, warming up to about 50 for a daytime high, with a slight chance of some showers developing again this afternoon. Now, it's in the forecast for tonight and tomorrow. About a 90% chance of rain tomorrow. And start tapering off tomorrow night. By Sunday, it'll all be gone, and we'll have mostly sunny skies with highs around 55 and just a light wind. So after tomorrow, we need the rain, so we can't complain. It's not always fun to have rain on Saturdays, but if we need the rain, we need the rain, and we'll have another Saturday, hopefully. 6 minutes after 7 o'clock, welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for being a part of our morning radio audience. I have these death announcements. Nellie Mae Sutherland, age 79 of Forest City, passed away on December the 8th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. Graveside services will be held December the 11th. That'll be tomorrow at 11 o'clock at Eternal Hills Memorial Park. Online condolences may be made at crowmortuary.com for Nellie Mae Sutherland. Grace Melton Black, age 89 of Eastwood Village, Bostic, died Tuesday, December 7th at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. Funeral arrangements are still pending and will be announced by the Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory. For Grace Melton Black. Nellie Sue Harden Rhodes, 83 of Rutherfordton, passed away Wednesday, December the 8th at her home. Funeral services will be held 1 o'clock today at Crow's Mortuary with Reverend Tommy Hutchins officiating. Burial will follow at Welcome Home Baptist Church. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service at the mortuary. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Nellie Sue Harden. Joan Carol Dowdle, 71 of Union Mills, died Tuesday at Mission Hospital in Marion. A memorial service will be held 2 p.m. Saturday, December the 11th at Crow's Funeral Chapel with Reverend Carol Flack officiating. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Joan Carol Dowdle. Margaret Jean Gallman, 71 of Chesney, South Carolina, passed away Sunday, December the 5th at her home. Memorial services will be held 6 p.m. Tuesday, December the 14th at Crow's Funeral Chapel, and visitation will follow the service. Crow's Mortuary assisting the family of Margaret Jean Goldman. Jolyn Rose St. John Urban, 83, of Ellenboro, died Monday, November the 29th at Adrian, Cleveland. Funeral services will be held at 11 a.m. Monday, December the 13th at Immaculate Conception Catholic Church. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Jolyn Rose St. John Urban. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others as they become available to us throughout the day today, tune in this morning at 11:35 for the complete obituary program, and then again 5:10 as part of the afternoon report here on the most information for the Foothills. WCAB Rutherford, an annual Christmas holiday music station for the Foothills, is right here, 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Starting Monday, we will go all Christmas. We've been sort of putting some in along the way to sort of get your appetite moving toward Christmas. Now, Monday, we will begin airing all Christmas music. Many of them will be your favorite. We'll also encourage you to get your Christmas card into us to be in the drawing for the recliner that will be given away on Christmas Eve, courtesy of the Recliner Center. Send it to Post Office Box 511, Rutherfordton. Post Office Box 511, Rutherfordton, and we'll get it in the drawing.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater in San Diego, filling in for Bill O'Reilly. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, a word.
Attention investors, want predictable monthly cash flow? How about double-digit annualized targeted returns with the benefits of real estate without being a landlord? Peace of mind comes from investing with a 15-year industry leader. Savvy investors are learning about the NRIA Real Estate Development Fund, and you should too. So please call 800-800-1414. That's easy, 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
Mike Slater.locals.com, filling in for Bill O'Reilly. On this Friday morning, I am thinking about Simone Biles. Time magazine just named the Athlete of the Year to an athlete who did not compete. She quit the Olympics during the Olympics. And people make up this post hoc excuse that she had the twisties. It was dangerous, Slater. You don't understand. No. She said she wasn't having fun anymore and didn't want to compete anymore. And she got Athlete of the Year. Now listen, I don't care about Simone Biles at all. What I deeply care about is our country's response to her quitting. That's why this matters. This is 1984 level stuff. This is 2 + 2 = 5, left is right, up is down type stuff. You have the system playing with your head, getting you to admit that not competing is winning, that not competing is award worthy, that not competing is noble, worthy of Athlete of the Year. Listen, the stories we tell ourselves matter. On the O'Reilly Update this afternoon, we're going to tell the story of Aeneas and why the Romans called him the pious father of Rome. That story matters. Why do we tell the story of George Washington cutting down the cherry tree? I cannot tell a lie. These stories matter. And I refuse to live in a culture where the elites tell us that quitting is noble and bailing on your team is winning. The athlete who should be Athlete of the Year is the woman who replaced her and won the gold medal. That's brave. She stepped up. That's what we should be celebrating. Winners, not quitters. More after this.
Folks, consumer prices are the highest we've seen in 30 years. Inflation's definitely here. So how do we protect our money? By diversifying a portion of your portfolio with American Hartford Gold. They will deliver physical gold and silver right to your door, or they'll put it inside your 401k. So please give them a call now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you for up to $1,500 of free silver on your first order. Call 877-444-GOLD or text GOLD to 65532.
I'm Mike Slater, MikeSlater.locals.com. This has been the O'Reilly Update, Morning Edition.
Your official Christmas station for Rutherford County and the Foothills is WCAB Rutherfordton.
This is Gilbert. I'm back on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9. So put on a pot of coffee, sit down, and listen to Gilbert Talks Taxes. You just might learn something.
Although women helped develop our country, as 1869 was coming to a close, they didn't have the right to hold a political office or even vote. But that changed on December 10, 1869, as the first state gave women the right to vote and hold political office. One would expect it would be an eastern state, but that wasn't so. It was probably one of the most remote states of that time, Wyoming. So why was the Wyoming Territory progressive when it came to women's rights? Legislator William Bright backed the bill because his wife convinced him that denying women the vote was a gross injustice. Incidentally, the progressive wife happened to be about half his age. Then there was Edward Lee, the territorial secretary, who argued that if a black man can vote, why couldn't his dear, sweet mother? But most people supported the bill for another reason. Wyoming Territory had a population of about 7,000 adults. Of those 7,000 adults, only about 1,000 were women, and those extra 6,000 men were lonely for the companionship of a woman. So they thought if Wyoming gave women the right to vote, the territory would get national publicity, and in turn, women, particularly single women, would come to the rugged, isolated area. When the bill was signed, one lawmaker gave the toast, "To the lovely ladies, once our superiors, now our equals." Did it work? Well, if you visit Wyoming today, you'll meet some of the handsomest, most strong-minded women and the happiest men in the United States. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James Railroad Express has added 2 new sandwiches to their menu. Try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. And now, the new beer-battered fish sandwich. All come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only, hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Now it's 7:16 on this Friday morning. Let's head to the phones, find out what's been going on in the past 24 hours or so. And on the phone with me right now is Officer King with the Sheriff's Department. Good morning, my friend. How are you doing?
Doing good. How you doing today, Jim?
Doing great. What's been going on?
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office responded to 253 calls for service. There were 8 arrests processed in the jail, and the jail currently has 174 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, have a Chastity Tessneer from St. John Zion Road in Rutherford reported theft of motor vehicle parts. Looks like a catalytic converter was taken in that incident. A Sandra Huntley from Old Millstream Lane in Forest City reported a case of identity theft. Brenda Warner from Grace Creek Church Road in Rutherford also reported identity theft. Marion Lovett from Travelers Rest Lane in Rutherford also reported identity theft. And a Lena Swink from Hudlow Road in Fort City also reported an incident of identity theft. All those incidents are people filing for unemployment in the victims' names. I believe there's been several cases of that going around in the county here in the last week or so. On our arrest reports, Gary Scott from Highway 226 in Bostic was arrested and served with warrants for misdemeanor flee or elude with a motor vehicle, driving while license revoked, and expired registration card. Received no bond at this time. Philip McKinney from Connor Street in Forest City was served with a criminal summons for larceny by changing the price tag. Michelle Wilson from Lawn Mill Road in Rutherford was served with warrant for breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. Received a $10,000 secured bond. And a Travis Proctor from Hollow End Drive in Union Mills was also served with a warrant for breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering, and he received a $15,000 secured bond. That's all we have for today.
All right, Officer King, thank you very much. Now, if you get some time off, go do some Christmas shopping now and get it caught up with.
Been doing most of mine online so far.
Okay, well, have a good day, and you have a good weekend. Be safe out there.
Thank you, Jim. You too.
Bye-bye. Officer King reporting in from the Sheriff's Department this morning. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's assistance in locating a missing juvenile, Caitlyn Ann Bodford, last seen in Bostic. She's a 15-year-old white female with blue eyes and long, straight brown hair. She's 5 feet 1 inch tall and weighs about 168 pounds. She was last known to be wearing a black long-sleeve shirt, black sandals, and black pants. She may be in the company of a black male by the name of Kennethan McGuire. If you have information or see somebody who fits that description, please contact the Sheriff's Department and help get this young lady back to home. Here's Tina now reporting to us from the Communications Center. Tina, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on the report?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 429 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 73 for emergency medical services, 253 for the Sheriff's Office, 75 for Forest City, 38 for Rutherford, 5 for Lake Lure, and 84 for Spindale. Under fire calls, we had Cherry Mountain go out for a fire and investigation. We had Rutherford go out for a structure fire with Green Hill, Spindale, and Shingle Hollow assisting. And we had SDO go out to a motor vehicle accident. And that's all we had.
Thanks, Tina. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Now we're going over to the SDO Fire District and see what's been happening. And Ruby Taylor is there on the phone to give us that update from that part of our county. Good morning, Ruby. How are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm good. What's on the report today?
Well, the fire department had one call, and that was to a vehicle accident. On my birthday calendar, I have Lacey Baynard, Jay Wilson, Jimmy Allen having birthdays, and Mr. and Mrs. Kenny Barker having anniversary today. Hope they have a nice day. Tomorrow, Chris Husky, hope he has a nice day. Then Sunday, Melissa Allen, Margie Hambrick, Jesse Skipper having birthdays, and Mr. and Mrs. Ray Ranlett having anniversary, and hope they all have a nice day. Signs are in the feet today and going to the head tomorrow and Sunday. And that's all I got.
I appreciate it, Ruby. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too, and bye-bye.
Bye. Well, the Better Business Bureau is always alerting us on some things. We talk about a lot of scams that are going on around the county. Well, this one might affect some of you. The demand for quarantine puppies and other pets increased dramatically during the COVID-19 pandemic, bringing with it a spike in scams that has persisted even as virus-related lockdowns have abated. Online pet scams, in which an online search ends with a would-be pet owner paying hundreds of dollars or more to adopt a pet that ultimately doesn't exist, are especially pervasive during the holiday season when families may be looking to add a furry family member as a gift. Better Business Bureau advises extreme caution if shopping for a pet online. In addition to a shortage of puppies available due to high demand, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention suspended imports of dogs to the U.S. from 100 countries deemed at high cost of rabies. This U.S. imports $1 million dogs per year. So we'll talk more about that in the next hour, but be aware of those kind of pet scams that are out there during this time of year. Better Business Bureau says there are plentiful of those scams. Here's Gary Wilson now. He's reporting from up top of the Fairfield Mountains area in Bills Creek. Gary, how are you doing this morning?
Doing good, Jim. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Glad it's finally Friday, friend.
Yeah, we got some rain coming in. Looks like maybe finally.
I believe we're finally getting some.
It'll be more likely tomorrow. There's a little scattered stuff today, but tomorrow and maybe tomorrow afternoon might even be some thunderstorms. So it could get some storms out of it too. But hopefully we can avoid all that. But we're sure getting the rain. Glad to see it coming in.
Yeah, we had a little rain overnight around here, but not much. Just a little shower.
Just a little sprinkle around here. Yeah. And sitting on about 40 degrees this morning, and no fire calls for us. Bills Creek ran 2 medical calls yesterday, and other than that, everything's been pretty quiet and getting ready for the big season. Getting ready to kick off here in about. Can't believe it's already Christmas that quick, but it is.
I tell you, it's amazing how fast it goes.
Comes and goes fast. Time to get your pumpkin pie eat. It's time for Christmas.
That's right. No need to put the wrapping paper away. Just keep the wrapping paper over in the corner because we'll have to wrap again.
There you go.
Well, listen, you have a good weekend.
Up here, Jim.
You have a great weekend. Be careful up there.
All right, you too.
See you, Gary.
Hey, folks, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse-quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherford.
Let's check in now. We're in Bostic, and we have DeVern on the phone to give us an update. DeVern, how you doing this morning?
I'm great. How are you doing this morning, Jim?
I feel great as well. We must be in the same
Good.
greatness area.
That's great. We have 42 degrees over here. We had a little dab of rain over the night. Boston Fire Department had no calls. Don't forget to go by Glenwood Baptist Church there on Boston Sunshine Road Saturday from 7 to 11 for free clothes giveaway. And Washburn's Outreach is giving out food again today from 9 to 1. And go by the bakery and get you some goodies for the weekend. And go by Washburn's store and get your Christmas candy. Hope everybody has a good weekend and a safe one.
Well, I hope so, too. I hope folks really need to get out a little bit and see the lights and visit some of our local places. And Santa Claus is going to be at Washburn's on Saturday from 11:30 to 1:30. So we want to encourage folks to go by and see old St. Nick.
Right. Tell them what they want for Christmas if they've been naughty or nice.
And if they go see Santa and sit on his lap, just tell them Jim Bishop's been pretty good. He's been trying real hard.
If I see him, I'll tell him.
Tell her you have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next time.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
Well, 1 week from today is a big day here in the Blue Room. Yes, across the fruited plain, because somebody is going to win a lot of money. The Chamber Raffle is going to be held next Friday morning at about 10 minutes after 8 o'clock, live on the radio, live on camera, live on Facebook. And if you have your ticket, your number could be drawn. If you do not have your ticket, there are a few tickets still left, and I encourage you to get them today, because by next Friday, they perhaps will all be gone. And a real missed opportunity. Even if you win the $500, that's worth the $50 investment, right? And all the money goes to support the Chamber of Commerce. We have a great, strong chamber here. It supports the local community and businesses and small businesses getting started and supporting those who've been here a long time. And we've had a great Chamber of Commerce director, Clark Poole, who is retiring after this year is over with. But we want to sell out those raffle tickets and give him a big send-off with a 100% sale of those tickets. And you could win. If you do not have one, I've got a few left here. So see me after 9 o'clock this morning if you'd like to have a ticket. And we'll hold one for you or come by and pick it up. The reverse raffle will be drawn next Friday. I keep calling it a reverse raffle. It's not a reverse raffle. It's the raffle from the Chamber. Will be drawn next Friday morning at 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. Here's Bob Hodge now. He's over in Hudlow on this cloudy, wet morning. Bob, how are you doing?
We're doing just fine on this wet Friday morning.
Good.
We made another week here, so we're doing good. But it is a little damp out here this morning, Jim, and with the fire department overnight, we've answered a couple medical calls. And I want to say happy birthday to the Assistant Chief of the Relton Fire Department, Robbie Samuels, this morning. And, Jim, other than that, things going along good up here this morning.
Been pretty quiet for the past few days, hasn't it?
Yeah, it ain't been too bad there.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a quiet weekend.
Well, wouldn't that be great? Maybe the rest of the month, hopefully, will be quiet.
There's people, be careful out here Christmas shopping now and all that. And just take your time and don't get in too big a hurry there.
There you go. Good advice, Bob. I appreciate you. Thank you, and have a great day and a good weekend.
You have a good weekend,
Thanks.
too.
See you, Bob.
Bye-bye.
And if you're shopping in a major store and they got a cart, one of those carts, you got your stuff in it, you take it out to your car, put it in your trunk, take your cart back to the store. Don't leave it out there in the parking lot, for goodness sakes.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Is this Mrs. Price?
It is.
How you doing this morning, Sue?
I'm doing good. Hope you are, Jim.
I am indeed.
Oh, good. Looks like we got a little bit cloudy day out there. Maybe we'll get some rain. I don't know. I don't know whether we got any last night or not. I can't tell. Well, let's see. I have the fire department had a fire investigation. Have no birthdays on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I've got Deetra Lovelace, but I noticed that she is on Golden Valley's for tomorrow, so I may have the wrong date. We just let her celebrate 2 days in a row. That'll be all right, won't it?
It will, yeah.
And let's see, Fairview's got Chelsea Cole, so Chelsea's going to have a good day. And First Broad has a birthday for Jerry Allen Hunt, so I hope Jerry's going to have a good day. And in my announcements, the Golden Valley Community Club will be meeting Monday night. We're changing our dates because we're going to have a blood drive on the 20th, so our club will meet Monday night. Keep that in mind and come on out at 7 o'clock. And remember, we're supposed to bring a $5 gift to play our little game with for Christmas. And the drive-through live nativity at Fairview Baptist Church, Saturday and Sunday, the 11th and 12th, so coming right up. That'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. each night. The Christmas program at First Broad Baptist Church, December the 12th, 6 p.m. Christmas program at Golden Valley Church, December 17th at 7 p.m. And the Duncans Creek Church will have a Christmas Eve candlelighting service and Christmas carols. And First Broad Baptist Church will have a Christmas Eve service at 10 p.m. So a lot of good programs and things coming up for Christmas. And everybody try to get out to something and enjoy it. And as far as I know, that's all I got. Just remember the blood drive on the 20th and prepare for that if you can give blood. All the donors will receive a one blood blanket and a $20 e-gift card plus a wellness check. So come on out and give blood if you can. It's always needed, and I guess especially around Christmas time when people are out and about and maybe having problems. Anyway, we hope everybody will have a good day, and hope you'll have a good weekend, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. I hope you do too, and thanks for the report, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. It's 7:33. Let me give you an update as best I can on the family that we're trying our best to help. As I mentioned to you yesterday, mother and two little boys living in a camper with nothing. All their belongings are outside because this lady that they're staying with allowed them to stay there because they didn't have any place else. But anyway, a kind gentleman, very kind gentleman. I won't mention his name because he may want to remain anonymous. But he came by after the story yesterday. He came by and said, I want to put $1,000 on finding that lady a place to live. And maybe somebody will match it, and we can move forward from that. So he gave me $1,000 to move toward getting a house or an apartment or someplace that she could live and have running water and hot water and place to sleep. Now, I checked with a gentleman who owns a lot of property yesterday. He said he doesn't have anything except one maybe small apartment, but it won't be ready for about 3 weeks. Well, we need sooner than that. We need something now. 3 weeks is too long down the road for it. If I have to put her up in a motel for Christmas, I'll do that. But I'd love to find somebody that's got an apartment or a house or even a mobile home that is efficient for a mother and two boys. And we'll work that way. Anyway, any way you want to help, there's not anything we can take to them at this point in terms of toys because they don't have a place to put them. She did tell me, I told her yesterday, she did tell me that she and the boys are having to sleep on the floor on the pallet. in the camper, and it gets a little cold. So I am taking some blankets out to them today, so that at least tonight when they go to bed, they can have some warm blankets to sleep on. So it's that kind of situation. I don't have time to go into the whole details, but if you know anybody that's got a house or an apartment that's available, we can, even on a few months basis for a while, let me know. We'd sure like to accommodate that. So that's where we are at this point. We can't collect toys and clothes because all we'd do would be take it out and pile it in the yard like they've got their stuff already. It's raining, going to be raining, and they don't have a place to put it. Even if there's a storage building somewhere we could put some stuff, it would be helpful. I know I sound like I'm begging and pleading, and I guess I am, because I've seen the situation. I know how sad it really is, and I'm struggling to find ways to get around it so they can at least have a warm place to stay for Christmas. 36 minutes after 7 o'clock, we'll get to our next phone call right after this.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts
here. We're going up to
here.
Shingle Hollow, North Carolina. That's where Tina White is, and she has the report from that fire district. Tina, how are you doing this morning?
I am doing wonderful this morning. It's Friday. Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
And only 15 sleeps till Santa Claus.
Oh, my, that few? My goodness.
So up here in Shingle Hollow this morning, it is 38 degrees. It is cloudy. Looks like it's going to drizzle or maybe rain anytime soon. Birthdays and anniversaries today. On Piney Knob's calendar, we have Mr. and Mrs. Jerry and Willie Boone are having an anniversary today. And for the weekend, we have Vicki Lewis on Saturday and Norma Lewis. And then I have a cousin, Adam Hensley. His birthday is tomorrow. And then on Sunday, Piney Knob has Glenda Searcy, and then my Aunt Martha Robertson has a birthday on Sunday. So I wish everybody has a great weekend. Those who are celebrating, celebrate big. And the fire department, both Shingle Hollow and Green Hill fire departments, responded to a chimney fire with Rutherford Fire Department. Announcements. So Christmas plays are coming up. Tomorrow night and Sunday night, Montford Cove Baptist Church is having a drive-through nativity. They invite everyone to come out and drive through that. It's from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then on Sunday, Piney Knob Baptist Church has their children's play at 6 p.m. And then the 19th, they have their adult Christmas play. And Pilgrim Way Baptist Church is having their children's Christmas program at 11 a.m. on the 19th. And then their adult Christmas play will be at 7 p.m. on the 24th, so on Christmas Eve. It's going to be busy up here.
I like busy Christmases.
I do too. Well, I stay busy about all the time. Sometimes I think I just need to rest.
That's good too. Rest is good.
And I just want to say to my neighbors who are close here and on Cove Road, they have got their houses decorated and their Christmas lights up. And I tell my daughter that, look, they did all this for you so you could see Christmas lights. But I enjoy them, and I'm very thankful for the neighbors I have.
I love to ride up and down highways and streets to see people's decorations. I love them too. I'm just a kid at heart, I guess. I just love Santa Claus and Christmas and lights.
I do too. Christmas is special, and hopefully we'll remember the real reason is Jesus' birthday.
We got to.
my husband was telling me, and he's never been a big Christmas light person, but I think I've rubbed off on him. We've been married 7 years, and last night he said, now, either this weekend or next week one day, I want to ride down back through Forest City to Christmas lights and go down to Ellenboro. There's a Christmas light display that I want to go see, and I thought, man, I love it.
Yeah. Someone is telling me who lives over in the Ellenboro area. I have not seen this lady in a couple of years, but she used to really go all out for it. She always invited me to come by, and I wish I could remember where that was. But someplace over there got a lot of lights in the yard, over across the house. It really looks good.
He was telling me that you turn beside the gas station, cross the railroad tracks, turn beside the gas station, and go out about 2 miles. So it might be the same person. And of course, I want to go see Todd's if he's doing Christmas lights.
Todd he is doing some animated Christmas stuff at his house. So if you know where Todd lives, Todd Kaiser, if you know where he lives, go by there and look at his decoration. He did something for Halloween. Now he's doing something for Christmas. I wonder if he'll do something for Easter.
We could probably talk him into it because he loves doing it, I think.
Well, listen, Tina, you have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Everybody stay safe, and I will talk to you Monday.
See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled A-R-Y-E-E. You know, the wonderful history of C.F. Reese & Son, don't you? The company in Rutherford that's had 80 years of professional experience, family-owned business. Many of you know the name, C.F. Reese & Son. Now they are the new still dealer, and they're opening on Saturdays for your shopping convenience. Now, they understand many of you work through weekdays, but so they're opening Saturdays, so you get a chance to come over and see their display, see what they have from 8 to 1 on Saturdays. So if you need a weed eater or a leaf blower, chainsaw, or any of those other dependable Stihl products, come on by and make your choice. They have the new cordless tools from Stihl. Of course, CF Reese still does hydraulic hose repair. They still are your welding supply store. But do business with the family you know. CF Reese & Son Company, 832 North Main Street, Rutherford, now open on Saturday and now well equipped with Stihl products. Good morning, Brenda Kelly.
Well, good morning, Jim Bishop. How are you on this fabulous, dreary, rainy Friday morning?
All of the above. I feel like that same way. Dreary, rainy, and happiest Friday.
There you go, and we're glad to get the rain.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we need it desperately. But we hope everybody's having a good day. I sure hope somebody comes up with a place for them, that mother and her 2 children to live.
I do too.
That's just breaking my heart.
Well, mine too, and we're working on it as fast as we can work, and among all the other responsibilities. But we'll, with the help of our listeners and with the Lord's help, we're going to find something. That gentleman that came in yesterday, just he touched my heart so much. He said, "I got $1,000 I want to put down on finding that woman somewhere to live." And he said, "I hope somebody will match my $1,000 and keep it moving." So anybody that wants to do that, we certainly welcome to get started with this. And I'm searching all I can search. So anybody that knows somebody that's got a house or apartment that's available for the next few months till we can get them on their feet and get them out of the cramped spaces of a camper and get their clothes in out of the rain and some place to sleep and some warm water to take baths, then we'll have given somebody a good Christmas.
That's right. Somebody out there's got something surely somewhere.
Yeah.
That they could use.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. As long as it's safe and comfortable, and we'll make sure they're taken care of.
Well, let's see. I've got 36 degrees on the front porch this morning. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries. And in ways of announcements, the Gilkey School Community Center breakfast Saturday the 11th, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Adults is $7. Kids 7 to 12 is $3, and kids 6 and under eat free. And then the Piedmont Pleasant Hill Community Club lunch with Santa Claus Saturday, December the 11th, 12 noon to 3 p.m. for children 8 years and younger. And so far, I reckon that's all I've got going on. I don't know of anything else, so it's just short, sweet, and quiet. And our little place is lit up through here. My sister's lights is on. Her husband got them up before he fell, I reckon, and I don't know if he got to come home yesterday or not, but they was looking for him to, but he hadn't got home at dark last night, so I don't know, but she's got lights, and little man's got lights everywhere he can put a light out here, and then my nephew on down has got lights, so we've got lights all up through here too for Christmas, and I'm a child at heart. I love them.
So am I. Our place, we're moving in slow motion. We do it in time frames. We got part of it up, and we still got to do some more yet. Maybe this weekend I can get finalized on all of ours. But we got all the candles in the windows, and the tree partially is up, but not completely decorated yet. But
well, you'll get it done before Santa Claus gets there to see it.
I hope so. I'd hate for Santa Claus to come and us not have decorations up.
That's exactly right. He wouldn't know where to stop, would he? Well, you better go check on Luther and see if Ellenburg's lit up.
You have a great day up there. A good weekend.
Okay, you too. Catch you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford-Ton.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. All right, here's Luther Gilligan. He's reporting to us from Ellenboro, North Carolina on this Friday morning. Luther, top of the day to you, sir.
Rest day to you, mate. We're having a good time down here this morning.
What's going on?
Yes, but we're having a good time at it.
That's great. That's the way to live.
That's right. It's quiet down here this morning. Nothing going on. Everybody's just getting their biscuits and heading on out to work. Fire department didn't have anything yesterday, last night. They're quiet, so they just sat around drinking coffee this morning. So everything going good down here. So, Jim, you have a great day up there. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
Thanks, Luther. I'll see you.
Well, take care now.
Luther Gilligan reporting in Ellenboro and leaving us time for birthday celebration for this 10th day of the month, 10th day of December. Call us now at 287-3356. We'll celebrate birthdays with you, give you a big shout out, and wish you the best. So call now at 287-3356.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherford.
To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale, your Edward Jones financial advisor, help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones Financial Advisor, 828-287-9197.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Well, Granny B certainly open for breakfast this morning. If you want a good hot breakfast, to go by there. They've been doing breakfast now for several months, and boy, is it catching on real fast. People are loving what they're doing there. Why don't you have a breakfast with them, too? Make your choice. Some breakfast, someplace else that's not so good, or Granny's where it's really good. Also, keep in mind this weekend pizzas will be special. If you're going to see lights and come back home to a big hot pizza, get one from Granny B's. Happy birthday. Happy birthday wishes going. We got a long list this morning. Tom Roop, he's the weather observer. He's having a birthday. Tom, happy weather day to you. Blakely Lovelace of Spindale. Is that 22 or 72? Todd, is that a 20 or 7? 22. Blakely Lovelace, 22 years old. Josh Short's 25 over in Rutherford. Ransom Jones is 7. Doug McGinnis is having a birthday. Barbara McGinnis is having a birthday, and Carolyn Harrell is also celebrating. Shannon Robertson has a birthday tomorrow, so Shannon, happy birthday early. Birthdays today also include Emily Dickinson. She was a poet. She was born in 1830. Melvin Dewey created the Dewey Decimal System that we all know about, born in 1851. Chet Huntley, newscaster, born in 1911. And Dan Blocker, he was Hoss Cartwright. He was born in 1928 and died in 1972. Bobby Flay the Shelf, born in 1964. Some events on this day include 1884, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, first published in the UK and Canada. 1906, U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt, first American awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. 1911, Calbreth Rogers completes the first crossing of the U.S. by airplane. It took 84 days. 1927, the Grand Ole Opry named during Barn Dance radio broadcast. 1978, Superman, the movie, premiered. A Nobel Prize Day today, Human Rights Day, National Salesperson Day, National Lager Day, and Dewey Decimal System Day. And now you're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB Rutherford. Keys to Confident Living coming up next.
Are you one of many in today's society who feels stressed out, tired most of the time, and with your nerves nearly to the breaking point? God's intent was that we would respond much better to life's stress than most of us do. Michael Dickinson from the University of Chicago was quoted in the Detroit News as saying, that flies are the F-16s of insects, thanks to tiny elastic springs that turn their wings into efficient motors that recycle energy. Dickinson's research, done inside a virtual reality flight simulator, discovered that insects require up to 100 times the energy consumption of an animal at rest. In comparison, an athlete running the 100-yard dash uses only about 15 times the energy of a person at rest. Dickinson reported in the journal Science, "Our findings suggest that insects in general must be using elastic storage as a means of minimizing energetic flight costs." You may be saying, where can I get some of that elastic storage for my life? The Bible says, "They that hope in the Lord shall renew their strength." Our renewed strength and energy comes from a daily dependency on God. We were not designed to get one charge at birth that would last our lifetime, but through daily times of renewal with Him, our storage batteries are recharged. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
Your official Christmas station for Rutherford County and the Foothills is WCAB Rutherford.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Thursday, the CDC gave the green light for COVID-19 vaccine boosters for teenagers aged 16 and 17. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky said,
"We're facing a variant that has the potential to require more immunity to be protected."
That is the Omicron variant, and while ABC's Whit Johnson says it's been detected in at least 25 states.
But it's the Delta variant still fueling the current surge. More than 65,000 patients are now hospitalized, up 47% in the last month. The situation so dire in Wisconsin, officials are asking FEMA to send help. In Pennsylvania, the state's largest healthcare system saying it's running out of hospital beds.
This hour, the Consumer Price Index will be released, expected to show another uptick in inflation, which could bring inflation to levels not seen since the 1980s. Thursday, the director of the National Economic Council, Brian Deese, tried to temper expectations, citing declining unemployment numbers as a good thing.
The strength of our economic recovery, the strength of our labor market, and the strength of wage increases and the steps that we've taken to try to provide some relief to American families position our economy and American households uniquely well to address what is a global issue.
A panel of federal judges rejected former President Trump's attempt to block the release of White House documents sought by the Congressional Committee investigating the Capitol riot. More from ABC's chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl.
This is a devastating blow to Donald Trump's efforts to keep the committee investigating the insurrection from getting a hold of his White House documents. Using stunningly blunt language, the court said that the Congress's interest in getting those documents vastly outweighs Trump's interest in keeping them private.
President Biden will deliver a eulogy today at the funeral for Bob Dole. You're listening to ABC News.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you fail to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS finds you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specialized in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts in the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
In Buffalo, New York last night, workers celebrating as they became the first in the nation to unionize a Starbucks location. More from ABC's Christine Sloan.
Workers also voting at 2 other Buffalo Starbucks, citing frustration over understaffing and insufficient training. One voting against forming a union, while votes are still being challenged at a 3rd location because of alleged irregularities. The employees say the next step is to bring Starbucks to the negotiating table.
Starbucks says it respects the process. There'll be fewer international flights next summer on American Airlines. The world's largest carrier is blaming it on delays in delivery of Boeing's new 787 Dreamliners. Wall Street Journal reports Edinburgh, Scotland, Shannon, Ireland, and Hong Kong are among the cities off of American summer schedule. The airline's also trimming its flights to Shanghai, Beijing, and Sydney. Most Olympic athletes heading to Beijing for the Winter Games in February will be taking charter and temporary flights. An Olympic official says a reduction in regular flights due to COVID-19 restrictions has been posing a challenge. And the economy of Afghanistan is collapsing before our eyes. That warning from the United Nations humanitarian chief urging countries to stop the free fall before it leads to more deaths. Martin Griffiths tells the AP donor nations must support basic services in Afghanistan and make loans to its banking system. This is ABC News.
Your nose is the body's air filter, the first line of defense against airborne allergens, bacteria, and viruses. You wash your hands to protect your health. Now you can clean your nose with Navage. Online at Navage.com. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
If you're with Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, you're paying too much. Switching to Pure Talk saves the average family over $800 a year. Just dial pound 250 and say Jill 50 to save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, say Jill 50.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
Hello and happy Friday. We're seeing a mostly cloudy sky today with a few small showers possible this afternoon. Highs today will be in the mid to upper 50s and low 60s. Mostly cloudy sky overnight tonight, milder as well. We'll start in the 50s for Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, we'll see a mostly cloudy sky, a few small showers possible, but it will be a warm and breezy day. Highs Saturday in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. Rain showers revive Saturday evening. Those continue into early Sunday morning. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
We have 41 degrees here in Rutherford at WCAB Studios in beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. 41 degrees and very cloudy. Looks like it could start raining most any time now, but it is in the forecast for this weekend. But we need some right now. It just says mostly cloudy. Rain showers supposed to start maybe tonight and run through tomorrow. Tomorrow there is a 90% chance of rain tomorrow, with some wind gusting to 23 miles per hour tomorrow, which doesn't sound good, but we'll get through it. 23 mile per hour wind with rain on the ground. I don't know about that, but we'll see what happens. We'll keep you posted. You be sure to always lock it in to 100.9 FM, 590 AM. We'll keep you posted as best we can do that. And not try to panic, it just keep you posted. Officer King was with us earlier and gave us the sheriff's report, and we'll do that again this hour coming up here in just a few moments. Right now, I've got news from here and there right after this.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith's Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith's Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recalled devices. Just call the home medical department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith's Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccines, and November is Diabetes Month. Get 10% off diabetic socks for the month of November at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
Now some stories from here and there. The North Carolina school bus driver has been accused of driving while impaired with children on board. Raven Ross Fight, 27, has been charged with driving while impaired and reckless driving to a danger. According to Trooper Pierce with the North Carolina State Highway Patrol, a school resource officer at Union Elementary School in Cleveland County contacted authorities on the suspicious Fight was driving while impaired. When troopers arrived at the scene, they found Fight with local school officials. Troopers took Fight into custody after a field test. A blood test was later conducted at a nearby hospital. NC State Highway Patrol confirmed Fight had driven a school bus earlier in the morning with students. Fight has been issued a $2,500 secured bond. She's due in court today. Can you imagine? Where these people come from that they think they can drive a school bus intoxicated without? What is happening out there, folks? Has common sense just completely gone crazy? Have we lost it altogether? Just because they've lost it in Washington don't mean we have to lose it here in the foothills. For goodness sakes. 2 incumbents and 1 newcomer was sworn into office at Monday's Forest City Town Council meeting. Mayor Steve Holland and Commissioner Sean Moore were both recently reelected to serve the town as members of the Town Council, while Mr. Dr. John Marty Bennett is new to the board after winning the seat, replacing David Aker, who opted not to run for reelection. Also at the meeting, ex officio appointments were approved. Commissioner Chris Lee will serve on the ABC board and the Forest City Owls liaison. Commissioner Moore will serve on the Library Board and the Housing Authority. Commissioner Justin Connor will serve on the Recreation Commission and the Youth Council. Commissioner Dee Dee Bright will serve on the Beautification Committee and the Cemetery Committee, while Commissioner Bennett will serve on the ADA Board and the Board of Planning and Adjustment. The town also received a clean audit and made a pair of budget amendments. After a public hearing, the board voted unanimously to not close an unnamed street that is located between Willow Run Ridge and South Broadway Street. Ethan Killeen was also sworn in as the newest police officer. in the town's department. The board will again meet January the 10th, 2022. Congratulations to all those that have been sworn in. And as I mentioned to you yesterday, we had this story yesterday, but Daily Courier's got a little more into it. By order of the North Carolina Supreme Court, a candidate filing for all offices for the 2022 primary election has been suspended until further notice. And the primary, originally scheduled for March the 8th, has been postponed until May 17th. Dawn Lovelace, Rutherford County Elections Director, was as surprised as anyone when she was informed of the court's action shortly after 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Some have already filed for election or re-election. They're okay. They don't have to do anything. But those who have not yet filed and were planning to file, they can't file now. They got to wait. Rutherford County and the rest of North Carolina started the candidate filing period Monday at noon. Filing was originally set to end Friday, December the 17th at noon. According to the State Board of Elections, any candidate whose filing has already been accepted or any county board of elections, their candidate will be deemed to have filed for the same office in the May primary, subject to any court ruling that would impact that candidate's eligibility per the Supreme Court. And these candidates will be able to withdraw their candidacy during the new filing period. Any individual who withdraws their candidacy is free to file for any other office which they're eligible during the reopening filing period. Now, are you thoroughly confused? Well, maybe that's why they do it. I'm not sure, but it's nothing anybody locally has done. It was not the Board of Elections doing. It's not. It's the Supreme Court. It's the court system that decided they wanted to change it. A total of 8 candidates had filed for local offices in Rutherford County prior to the court order. More than 1,400 candidates had filed statewide. Now they got to put it on hold. This is not the first statewide election drama to happen this week. The North Carolina Court of Appeals on Monday temporarily suspended candidate filing for all U.S. House of Representatives, North Carolina Senate, and North Carolina House contests. This court order was lifted by the end of the day and did not apply to local candidates. Lovelace and her team at the local Board of Elections office at Spindale notified all candidates who had already filed of the latest court rulings, as well as some who had begun paperwork with the interest of filing. The court action stems from controversy surrounding the redrawing of congressional districts. The candidates who had already filed for local races are incumbent county commissioners Brian King, Alan Toney, and Mike Benfield, and challengers Jason Dwayne Toney. Sheriff Chris Francis, Clerk of Courts, Superior Court Steve Owens, and challengers Patsy Kirkland and Darren Joyner, who filed for Board of Education, District 1. Those folks have already filed. Lovelace says she has received no indication from state officials as to when the filing period will resume. They're standing by and waiting for an answer real soon. You know, I'm going to hold my comments back because I got a lot to cover here. In partnership with the Duke Energy Foundation, Rutherford Town Rising has announced grants to 18 small businesses in Rutherford to help innovate, pivot, and respond to the impact of COVID-19. The funds range from grants of $500 to $2,500 and will be used to provide critical assistance to Rutherford and businesses in the form of physical space alterations, enhancements to storefronts, digital presence, and creating new ways to serve customers. In 2020, Rutherford Town Rising began the Angel Fund to invest the needed fund to our small businesses to keep them moving forward during COVID-19, and now the Duke Energy Hometown Revitalization Grant Program has provided funds to continue this investment strategy. According to Leanna Torvinen, the Executive Director of Rutherford Town Rising, as the holiday season draws closer, we also reminded of how vitally important small businesses are to our community, and we encourage everybody to learn more about the wonderful offerings that these businesses provide as you look for these perfect gifts this year. The grant recipients include a lot of small businesses in our area, but if you just take a little time when you can, just walk up and down the street, starting down 221 there, down near the credit union and the Dollar General store, there's an antique mall there. That used to be a barbecue house. You need to walk in there. That's locally owned. It's a consignment store Different vendors are there, have their places there. Wonderful place to shop. Wonderful place. And you're supporting local businesses. And on up the line, I walk up down the street of Rutherford, go over to Spindale. There's some hometown, locally owned businesses there. Over in Forest City, there's a bunch of new ones that have opened up, locally owned, and some of you hear advertised, and others are opening there or have been there. Support them, and our community will be stronger when we do that. All right, so there's a lot of congratulations to those folks who got some of that money. 50 minutes after 8 o'clock. Give you this story, but then I'm going to sort of move on. Time's running out here. North Carolina, not North Carolina, New York City passed a bill giving non-residents the right to vote. Think about that, folks. These folks coming in from wherever they are, from all parts of the world, who knows what they're bringing with them, who knows why they're coming. All of them just don't want to just be American citizens. A lot of them are coming to cause trouble. But New York City passed a bill giving non-citizens the right to vote in municipal elections under a measure approved Thursday by the City Council that would give access to the ballot box to 800,000 green card holders and so-called dreamers. Only a potential veto from Mayor Bill de Blasio stood in the way of the measure becoming law, but the Democrat has said he would not veto it. It's unclear whether the bill might face legal challenges or not, but the council's vote was a historic moment for an effort that had long languished in letting all these folks come into the city illegally and then vote in our elections. Yes, some of these same folks that's all in favor of these illegals that's breaking the law, many of them coming in, some of them are getting green cards, coming in to allow them to vote, are so adamantly opposed to voter ID for legitimate citizens. Councilman Francisco Moya, whose family hails from Ecuador, choked up as he spoke in support of the bill. This is for my beautiful mother who will be able to vote for her son. While joining the session by video with his immigrant mother at his side. More than a dozen communities across the United States already allow non-citizens to cast ballots in local elections, including 11 towns in Maryland and 2 in Vermont, but New York City is the largest place by far to give voter rights to non-citizens. Non-citizens still wouldn't be able to vote for president or members of Congress in federal races or in state elections that pick the governor, judges, and legislature, only the municipal races. But it's coming. Once the camel gets his nose out of the tent, it's coming. The city's move could inflame the national debate over voting rights, particularly among some who wrongly assert that rampant fraud by non-citizens has taken place in federal elections. Last year, Alabama, Colorado, and Florida adopted rules that would preempt any attempt to pass laws like the one in New York City. Arizona and North Dakota already had prohibitions on the books. It's no secret they're making history. 50 years down the line, when our children look back at this moment, they will see a diverse coalition of advocates who came together to write a new chapter in New York City's history by giving immigrant New Yorkers the power of the ballot, according to Council Member Dandis Rodriguez, a main sponsor of the bill. So delighted and tickled that the illegals get to vote in the election. Keep that picture in mind, folks. If that continues to spread, it could be the non-residents running the country. Enough non-residents able to vote, non-residents can run for office, and non-residents can be elected. They have no constitutional understanding of our country, our Constitution, have no constitutional respect, and they can govern any way they want to. That's what's happening with the liberal crowd in New York. Things that are going on in New York City right now. Every morning, every day when I see the news of New York City, I thank God my family got out of New York City and came back to the Carolinas. I'm so thankful they decided to get out of that city. So they're here in North Carolina, and loving it. 19 past 8 o'clock. The Sheriff's Report coming up here in just a moment.
You need an insurance agent you can talk to? Call Insurance Service Associates at 828-245-5301. We want to help you get the best out of your insurance dollar. As a trusted choice independent agent, we shop your coverage with several companies to give you the best value. More companies, better choices, best rate. Come see us at our new office at 245 East Main Street in Forest City, or call us at 828-245-5301.
You know the gift everyone would love to have is at Norm's Coins? Betty has all the Christmas rounds, a 2021 Silver Eagle, all proof sets, the Morgan and Peach dollars, gold pieces, and just about anything a coin collector would like to have. To make it more appealing to give coins, now's the fact that no sales tax on coins. Plenty of supplies for coin collecting, too. It's an exciting place to buy gifts for that special person in your life. Any questions about coins and currency, Betty has the answer. Norman's Coins, inside Butler's Jewelry and Loan, downtown Forest City. Let that gift earn its keep.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford. Gregory's Original.
Well, it's a proven fact that folks do love to go to the Cozy Home Warehouse sale, and they wish there were more Fridays and Saturdays in the week so they could shop more. The popular Cozy Home Christmas Warehouse sale. New items arriving weekly. Brand new collection of matching bath rugs, and towel sets in many assorted colors. Tons of new Christmas throw pillows, Christmas kitchen towels, bean bags for the kids and big kids at heart, bed pillows in all sizes, beautiful designer dishes and decor by the popular Biltmore collection. Christmas hours every Friday, 10 to 4, every Saturday, 9 to 2. Cozy Home Warehouse Sale, Duke Street, Forest City, right next to Henson Building Material. You can miss it. Go there today, as soon as they open, at 10 o'clock today, and shop until you drop. Take away a lot of nice stuff. All right, Officer King was with us earlier this morning, gave us a report from the Sheriff's Department, and we recorded it for broadcast itself. Let me remind you, raffle tickets still available. Next Friday we'll be drawing. We'll have had the drawing by now next Friday. And we're also asking you to, if you want to be in the drawing for the recliner, get your card into us. We'll do that on Christmas Eve morning. And if you want to help us find a place for this mother and two boys to live and get out of the camper, small camper, and get them someplace to have a warm bedroom and water to take a bath, let us know. We listen to any offer that you got to make. 23 past the hour. Here's Officer King.
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office responded to 253 calls for service. There were 8 arrests processed in the jail, and the jail currently has 174 people incarcerated. On our incident reports, have a Chastity Tessneer from St. John Zion Road in Rutherford reported theft of motor vehicle parts. Looks like a catalytic converter was taken in that incident. A Sandra Huntley from Old Millstream Lane in Forest City reported a case of identity theft. Brenda Warner from Grace Creek Church Road in Rutherford also reported identity theft. Marion Lovett from Travelers Rest Lane in Rutherford also reported identity theft. And a Lena Swink from Hudlow Road in Fort City also reported an incident of identity theft. All those incidents are people filing for unemployment in the victims' names. I believe there's been several cases of that going around in the county here in the last week or so. On our arrest reports, Gary Scott from Highway 226 in Bostic was arrested and served with warrants for misdemeanor flee or elude with a motor vehicle, driving while license revoked, and expired registration card. Received no bond at this time. Philip McKinney from Connor Street in Forest City was served with a criminal summons for larceny by changing the price tag. Michelle Wilson from Law and Mill Road in Rutherford was served with warrant for breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering, received a $10,000 secured bond. And a Travis Proctor from Hollow End Drive in Union Mills was also served with a warrant for breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering, and he received a $15,000 secured bond. That's all we have for today.
As the crowd rushed to court after Ron Harper Jr. hit a half-court shot at the buzzer and Rutgers upset top-ranked Purdue 70-68. The Boilermakers' stay at number 1 will be brief after crumbling under the scrutiny of their first number 1 ranking this week. The NC State Wolfpack will be drawing Purdue very soon. Last night, they were in action. NC State beat Bethune-Cookman 65-48. Head coach Kevin Keats, after the game, talked about picking up a win before having to face the current number 1 team.
Well, I'm just glad we got a game and we won a game before. You know, obviously in this program we talk about when you lose a game, we're sick. And so we wanted to get well, and obviously losing to Louisville and then coming back and getting a win to get back on the right track.
On the ice, the Hurricanes on the road in Calgary last night, where they extended their win streak to a third game with a 2-1 overtime win against the Flames. Head coach Rod Brindamore did not have much to say about his team's struggles in late November and early December when they lost 5 of 6. But after last night's win, he said they could do better.
I don't know how you saw it. I saw it as a gross hockey game. It just wasn't fun to watch. It wasn't fun to be a part of, to be honest with you. But we dug in. Like we did. I mean, we were battling. We just weren't very sharp, and probably pretty fortunate there, obviously.
The Minnesota Vikings held on to beat the Steelers 36-28 after nearly squandering a 29-0 lead on Thursday Night Football. Ben Roethlisberger rallied the Steelers with 3 touchdowns over the final 17 minutes of the game. Big Ben says they almost came back, but almost doesn't count.
We run out of time. I don't look at moral victories. I told the guys that, but I'm proud of them for fighting.
This is NCN Sports.
With the new law, more people qualify for financial assistance at healthcare.gov. Real customers like Taylor.
You know, I wish people knew how easy it was to get health coverage. This new law has made it so affordable. I'm only paying $52 a month, but there are quality plans for even less.
New law, lower prices, more people qualify. Enroll by December 15th at healthcare.gov.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
We're really happy that our 5 to 11-year-olds can now get a COVID-19 vaccine.
It's been a really long 20 months of not being able to be with family and friends, so we're really excited to be in a position where they can get vaccinated.
I know how thankful I was when I was able to get my vaccine months ago to have a certain safety net where you felt safe going out, and we wanted the same thing for our daughter.
Kids have a spot to take their shot.
Everyone 5 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
Former Denver Broncos receiver Demaryius Thomas has been found dead in his suburban Atlanta home, according to local police. The public information officer for the police department in Roswell, Georgia, says preliminary information is that Thomas's death stems from a medical issue, and investigators currently have no reason to believe otherwise. Thomas earned 5 straight Pro Bowls and a Super Bowl ring. He retired last year. NBA action last night, just 3 games on the schedule. Utah taking down Philadelphia 118-96. Memphis topped the Lakers 108-95. And San Antonio in a barn burner against Denver 123-111. The Hornets taking on Sacramento tonight at Spectrum Center. They look to break a 2-game snide after losing back-to-back games to the 76ers. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Hello and happy Friday. We're seeing a mostly cloudy sky today with a few small showers possible this afternoon. Highs today will be in the mid to upper 50s and low 60s. Mostly cloudy sky overnight tonight, milder as well. We'll start in the 50s for Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, we'll see a mostly cloudy sky, a few small showers possible, but it will be a warm and breezy day. Highs Saturday in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. Rain showers revive Saturday evening. Those continue into early Sunday morning. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Cloudy conditions here in Rutherford. Our temperature reading is 41 degrees. Expect the rain to develop later today. Keep your umbrellas handy, your rain jackets handy. It is coming. Isolated thunderstorms possibly. And getting up to around 67 for a daytime high. Dropping back tonight to 34. And the wind will be gusting today about 23 miles per hour today, wind gust. And then tonight, about 14 mile per hour wind gust. But the weekend after that, sunny and mild. starting with Sunday. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherford, serving the foothills of the Carolinas from 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB Rutherford. It's 8:30 and time for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program. And with the program this morning is Andrea Farmer.
Good morning, Rutherford County. This is Andrea Farmer, and I'm so happy to be with you this morning. I wanted to spend a few minutes just sharing with you some things where God has been encouraging my heart, and I wanted to just share that encouragement with you as well. You know, in the work that I do every day, I meet a lot of people that are sad, a lot of people that are depressed, whose lives are broken. And I have thought that there's really one word that can sort of sum up how to describe these people, and that's destitute. Many of them are very destitute. They're lacking things that they need. And really, I pray for them every day. The different people that I encounter, I pray for them. I cry out to God for them. And as I go home and as I've been praying for them, I was reminded of the scripture in Psalms 102. And it says, "Hear my prayer, O Lord, and let my cry come to you. Hide not your face from me in the day when I am in distress." And then it goes on down and it says, "But you, O Lord, are enthroned forever, and the fame of your name endures to all generations." And then in verse 17, it says this, "He will regard the plea of the destitute, and he will not despise their prayer." And I began to think about that. And I began to think about times in my life when I've been in need of something. Maybe it was something material. Maybe it was something financial. Maybe it was something regarding a relationship. And how every time that I cried out to God, he heard my cry and he answered my prayer. Now, many times he worked in a different way than what I thought he would. And many times he answered my prayer, and maybe it was in a different way than I was expecting. But yet every time, God was faithful to answer my prayer. And it says, I'm going to read it again, verse 17. "He will regard the plea of the destitute." And I've just been thinking about that scripture over and over. He will regard the plea of the destitute. And it doesn't matter what kind of circumstance you're in. You don't have to be hopeless. You don't have to feel like that there's no way out, because there is. When you cry out to God, he will work mightily on your behalf. And as that scripture goes on, it says, "Let this be recorded for the generation yet unborn, that a people yet to be created shall praise the Lord. For he looked down from the height of his sanctuary, and from heaven did the Lord behold the earth, to hear the sighing and groaning of the prisoner, and to loose those who are appointed unto death, so that men may declare the name of the Lord in Zion, and his praise in Jerusalem." It shows how much he cares for us, that he looks down from heaven on us to hear our cry, to regard the plea of the destitute, to hear the sighing and groaning of the prisoner, and to loose those who are appointed unto death. And I know many times we feel like that's us. We feel like we're a prisoner in our circumstances, or we feel like we've been appointed to death. And, you know, I encounter many people that feel like that they have no reason to live. Yet it's not true. They do have a reason to live. When you cry out to God, he will hear your cry and he will answer you. And I want to go through some scriptures today and some examples in the Bible of people who were destitute and people who cried out to God, and God worked mightily on their behalf. But before I do that, I want to share with you what the definition of destitute is, because the scripture uses that word. And I looked up destitute. It basically means that somebody is destitute when they are without the basic necessities of life. When you're without things that you need in order to live, or when you're lacking something that you need or that you desire. That's what it means to be destitute. And if you really think about it, I know many times in my life, and how many times in all of our lives can we look back and think about the times we needed something, that we were destitute. And yet in those times when we cry out to God, He will hear us and He will regard our cry. But the one thing I want you to pay attention to in the examples that I'm getting ready to go through is that when you cry out to God, you have to cry out with a humble heart, a heart that's open to receive, a heart that is desperate for God. God, I need you. I can do nothing without you. That's how He's taught us in His Word to cry out to Him. Secondly, you have to have faith when you cry out. Faith that He is hearing you and faith that He will work for you. Now, you can't be so overwhelmed by your circumstances and just think, I have no hope, there's no way out of this. No, you've got to have faith that God can work on your behalf. And you'll see that in some of these examples. And the third thing I want you to notice is that you have to obey whatever it is He tells you to do. I know many times I've been in a circumstance and I cried out to God. I needed something. I needed a circumstance to change. I needed something in a relationship. I needed something. And I cried out to God. And step by step, He would tell me what to do to come out of that circumstance or for that circumstance to change. And so I had to obey what He told me to do. So again, first of all, let's notice in these examples, you have to have a humble heart. You have to have faith that He will be there for you. And you have to obey what God is telling you to do. Another word that I often think of when I hear the word destitute is the word desperate. And many times we have felt that way. We have felt desperate. And to feel desperate means to feeling, showing, or involving a hopeless sense that a situation is so bad that it's impossible to deal with. But yet we know God is always there for us, and He will always be there to change our circumstances. And so when we go to God, when we're desperate, being desperate for Him, that we have to have Him to change our circumstance, He will. We cannot be so overcome by despair or so overwhelmed by our circumstances that we can't see that God's mighty hand can work for us. So the first example I want to talk about today is David. And there were many situations in David's life where he cried out to God because he needed God's help. He needed to hear God's voice, whether to go into battle, to fight a certain enemy, or he needed to hear God's voice when he was fleeing Saul to protect his life. And that is one of the scriptures I want to share with you in Psalm 54. It was a psalm that David wrote when he was hiding among the Ziphites, and yet the Ziphites went and told Saul where David was. And you would think you might think if you were or I were in that circumstance, that was the end, that Saul was going to find us and there was no hope for us. Yet listen to what David said, what David wrote in this psalm, and hear David's heart. In verse 1, he starts out saying, "Save me, O God, by your name. Judge and vindicate me by your mighty strength and power. Hear my pleading and my prayer, O God. Give ear to the words of my mouth. For strangers and insolent men are rising up against me, and violent men and ruthless ones seek and demand my life." He was crying out to God. He was desperate. He was destitute in that situation. He needed God. But yet, he wasn't overcome by his situation. Listen to what he says next. He says, "But behold, God is my helper and ally. God, the Lord, is my upholder and is with them who uphold my life. He will pay back evil to my enemies. So in your faithfulness, Lord, put an end to them." And then in verse 7, he says, "For he has delivered me out of every trouble, and my eye has looked in triumph on my enemies." You can hear that in David. He had a humble heart to come to God. He had faith that God was going to change his circumstance. And we can see in David's life how when God spoke to him, he obeyed what God told him to do, and how it saved his life every time. Another example that has really been coming to my mind over the last couple of weeks is about Hagar. Now, Hagar was a woman in the Bible who was the bondservant of Sarah, and through Hagar, Ishmael was born, Abraham's son Ishmael. But when Isaac came along, the child of God's promise to Abraham, Hagar was cast out. Hagar and Ishmael were cast out. And in Genesis 21, starting in verse 10, it talks about where Sarah went to Abraham and told him, cast out this bondwoman and her son. And you would think, yes, that was a very desperate situation for Hagar and for Ishmael. And in honesty, it says it was very grievous in Abraham's sight because Abraham loved Ishmael. But yet God told him to do it. He said, don't let it seem grievous to you, because God knew it was in his plan for Hagar and for Ishmael, for Ishmael's life. And he promised Abraham, I will make a nation of the son of the bondwoman also, because he is your offspring. He promised that to Abraham. So Abraham did. He sent Hagar and Ishmael away, and they had water with them. But it says in verse 15, when the water in the bottle was all gone, in verse 14, they were wandering around in the wilderness of Beersheba. And then when their water was all gone, it says Hagar caused the youth to lie down under one of the shrubs. And then she went a little ways off because she thought, let me not see him die. And she just knew he was going to die and she was going to die there in the wilderness. And so she sat down in her place a little ways off from him. And it says, he lifted up his voice and she lifted up her voice and wept. They cried out to God. They were destitute. Their situation was desperate. It seemed hopeless, yet they cried out to God. And verse 17 says, God heard the voice of the youth, and the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven and said, what troubles you, Hagar? Fear not, for God has heard the voice of the youth where he is. Arise, raise up the youth, and support him with your hand, for I intend to make him a great nation. And then God opened her eyes, and he supernaturally, miraculously provided water for them. And it says in verse 20, and God was with the youth, and he developed, and he dwelt in the wilderness, and he became an archer. And God had a plan for Ishmael's life too. He made him a nation, just like he promised Abraham. But look at this account of Hagar. She was destitute. She could have been hopeless. She was cast off by Abraham and Sarah. But yet she had a humble heart. She cried out to God. She had faith for God to do something on her behalf. And then she obeyed God's voice. And God fulfilled his promise to Hagar and to Ishmael. Now, another great example to me that I often think about is the widow who had 2 sons, and the creditors were calling on her to pay debts, but she had no money. And what did she do? She cried out to God, and the way she cried out to God was by going to the prophet of God, the man of God that she knew, for help. And sometimes that's what it takes. When we need something, when we are in a bad circumstance, sometimes God has us go to others in our life, a prophet of God, a minister in our life. We go to somebody and ask for help. And many times they have the word of the Lord for us to help bring us out of our circumstances. And that's what happened with this widow. And like I said, the creditors were calling on her. And the creditors wanted to take her 2 sons as slaves in payment of the debt. And she was trying to save the lives of her sons. So she went to Elisha, the prophet of God. And Elisha said to her, this is in 2 Kings 4, and in verse 2, Elisha said, what shall I do for you? Tell me, what do you have of value in the house? And she told him, I have nothing except a small jar of olive oil. So then he said, and listen to this. Here's the word of the Lord out of Elisha's mouth. Go borrow containers from all your neighbors. Empty containers, all your neighbors. And not just a few. He told her, go gather as many empty containers as you can, not just a few. And then you shall go in and shut the door behind you and your sons and pour out the oil that you have into all these containers. And you shall set aside each one when it is full. So she left him. She shut the door behind her and her sons. And she did what the prophet told her to do. And the sons were bringing the containers to her as she was pouring the oil. And when the containers were all full, she said, bring me another one. And they said, there are no more left. And at that point, the oil stopped. Now, if you look at that in the natural, and if you were the widow and you didn't have faith in the word of the Lord, you might think, why do I have to get all these containers? I only have a little bit of oil. It's not going to fill all these containers. And sometimes when God tells us to do things, we have all these thoughts from the devil in our mind about how is this going to work? There's no way. I only have this little bit of oil. But yet she had a humble heart. She had faith in God that God was going to move on her behalf. And she obeyed the word of the Lord to the T that the prophet gave her. And look what happened. She had enough oil to fill all those empty containers. So then she went back to the prophet to say, I've obeyed. I've done everything you told me to do. And he said to her, go sell the oil and pay your debt, and you and your sons live on the rest. And look at how God provided for her financially to save the lives of her sons and to provide for her and her sons so they could live on the rest of that money from that oil. She cried out to God, and God heard her cry. He regarded the plea of the destitute. And just as he's done in these examples, he will do for us. He will do for us. Many times I encounter people who, maybe because of an injury or an illness, they feel like their life has fallen apart. Or maybe because of a financial hardship, they feel like that there's no hope. But yet these scriptures are an encouragement to us that if we cry out to God with a humble heart, with faith in God, and we obey what he tells us to do, he will work mightily on our behalf. This next account I'm going to share with you is one of the key scriptures in my life. And this is about the unjust judge. And maybe you've heard this parable before about the unjust judge, but it's a parable that Jesus told. And he said, in a certain city, there was a judge who neither reverenced or feared God or respected him. So it was a man who was carnal, someone who was worldly, someone who did not love God and have reverence for God. And then there was a widow in that same city who kept coming to him and saying, protect and defend and give me justice against my adversary. And for a time, that judge would not. And she kept coming, and she kept coming. And so later he said to himself, though I have neither reverence or fear for God or respect for man, yet because she keeps coming to me and continues to bother me, I will defend and protect and avenge her, lest she give me intolerable annoyance and wear me out by her continual coming to me. And so maybe his intentions weren't right. Maybe he just said he would do it to kind of get her off his back. Yet still that unjust judge was God's provision for that widow. And she kept crying out, and she kept crying out, and she would not be denied. And at first, maybe the circumstances didn't look like it would change, but she was persistent. She kept crying out. And says, then the Lord said, listen to what the unjust judge says. So think about what the unjust judge said, and he still protected that widow. But then God's not that way with us. All the more he will do for us. And it says, verse 7, will not our just God defend and protect and avenge his elect, his chosen ones? And listen to this. It says, who cry to him day and night. And I want to be one of those chosen ones who cry out to God day and night. And it says, he will defend and protect and avenge me if I do that. So to me, it's not just if I'm in a really bad circumstance. It's crying out to God for everything in my life, day and night. That is how I become his chosen one, and that is how he will help me. And it says, will he defer them and delay help on their behalf? I tell you, he will defend and protect and avenge them speedily. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find persistence in faith on the earth? And will he? Are we persistent in our faith like that widow was? She kept crying out day and night. And do we do that? Maybe we need an answer for our finances or for our children or for our job. Are we crying out to God day and night? And that's how I'm learning to live my life, is to cry out to God in everything I do, to ask him in everything I do. And he is always there to hear my cry and to answer my prayer. And that widow got her prayer answered because of her persistence of faith. And it says in verse 1 in that chapter, I did not read that to you, Jesus was telling his disciples a parable to the effect that they ought always to pray and not to turn coward or faint or lose heart or give up. And we don't want to be that way. We don't want to lose heart. We don't want to give up. We want to have persistence of faith, just like that widow with the unjust judge. And we want to cry out to God day and night. And the Bible says it's a promise to us. He will regard the plea of the destitute, and he will hear our cry. Now, I have several examples from the Bible, and there's many, many more, of people who cried out to God, even when others told them to be quiet, or when the circumstances seemed difficult for them to press through. And they cried out to God because of a physical problem that they were having. Yet this applies to more than just a physical problem or a health problem. This applies to any problem that we have in our life. But in Mark 10, we read about blind Bartimaeus. And if you don't know the story about blind Bartimaeus, he was a blind man that was sitting along the road on the way to Jericho. And Jesus and his disciples were on their way, they were leaving Jericho. And blind Bartimaeus was sitting by the roadside. And he heard that it was Jesus that was coming. And he had heard about Jesus and all the miracles that he had done. And again, he was blind. He could not see. So the Bible says in Mark 10, it says he began to shout, saying, Jesus, Son of David, have pity and mercy on me now. He began to shout that because he was destitute. He was desperate, and all he wanted was for Jesus to help him. And it says many around him severely censured and reproved him, telling him to be quiet. People were telling him to be quiet. Those people were getting in the way of what God wanted to do in Bartimaeus' life. And many times we have people that try to get in the way of the work of God in our life, and yet we let them get in the way. But blind Bartimaeus did not let them. It says he kept shouting out all the more, you Son of David, have pity and mercy on me now. That's what his heart was. That's what his cry was, and he was not going to be denied. And so Jesus stopped and called the blind man to him. And immediately when he called, it says Bartimaeus threw off his outer garment, and he leaped and he ran to Jesus. And Jesus said, what do you want me to do for you? So Bartimaeus told him, I would like to see. And immediately Jesus healed him. Jesus stopped with all that crowd of people to regard the cry and the plea of the destitute. The other one that comes to my mind is the woman with the issue of blood. And in Mark 5, it says she had had a flow of blood for 12 years. She had an infirmity with her blood for 12 years. And she'd endured much suffering. She'd been to many doctors. She'd spent all that she had, and she was no better. But she grew worse. She was desperate. But yet, she was not overwhelmed with her circumstances. She was not overcome by her physical problem. She had it in her heart to cry out to Jesus. And it said, she said to herself, if I could only see him, if I could only touch his garment, I will be made clean. I'll be restored to health. And so there were so many people around Jesus. And so she had to fight through all those people. And she did. She came up behind him and she just touched his garment. I mean, look at the faith that she had. She was so humble. She had faith that Jesus could help her, and she obeyed what God put in her heart to just at least touch Jesus's garment. And immediately, it says, her flow of blood was dried up at the source, and she felt in her body that she was healed. And all those people around her, it didn't matter to her. She was not going to be denied. And Jesus healed her. He regarded the plea of the destitute. And later it says, he told her, your faith has restored you to health. To go in peace and be continually healed. Continually, throughout her life, she was healed. And there's many other examples that I'm not going to have time to go into all of them today. But one I did want to point out is the father of the demon-possessed boy who kept having seizures, and the seizures would throw him into the water or into the fire. And he came to Jesus, and he said, I know you can heal him. I know you can. I know, and I brought him to your disciples, and they could not heal him and cast the demon out, but I know you can. And Jesus had said to him, all things are possible for the one who believes and trusts in me. Listen to what that is. All things are possible. And immediately the father of the boy cried out with a desperate cry, I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief. And that's found in Mark 9. Help me overcome my unbelief. And so many times the devil brings all these thoughts to us that things will never change. And it torments us that it's always going to be this bad, that we're not deserving, that so-and-so's never going to be in our life again, or that we're never going to have enough money to put food on our table, or we're never going to be able to work again, or whatever it is that the devil is speaking to you. We have to believe. We have to have faith in God that he will answer our cry. And this father said, he asked Jesus, I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief. And Jesus healed the boy. He cast the demon out of the boy, and that boy was restored. And all of these examples had faith. And the devil will bring us all kinds of things to our mind to cause us to lose our faith, to be overwhelmed by our circumstances. But we can't do it. We can't give in. In Isaiah 65, God says, I was ready to be inquired of by those who asked not. I was ready to be found by those who sought me not. He's always there to hear our cry and to answer our prayer. And there's many scriptures that say, like Psalms 34, the eyes of the Lord are toward the righteous, and his ears are open to their cry. When the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their distress and trouble. He's close to those who are of a broken heart, and he saves those. He saves those. Psalms 145, the Lord is near to all who call upon him, and he will hear their cry, and he will save them. Psalms 9, he will be a refuge and a high tower for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble, destitution, and desperation. And he tells us to call upon him, and he will do great and mighty things for him. And one last scripture I wanted to read to you in Jeremiah 29. For I know the thoughts and plans that I have for you, says the Lord. Thoughts and plans for welfare and peace, and not for evil, to give you hope in your final outcome. We can have hope. It says, then you will call upon me, and you will come and pray to me, and I will hear and I will heed you. And you will seek me as vital, and you will find me when you search for me with all your heart. And I will be found by you, and I will release you from your captivity. He will hear our cry. He will answer our prayer. He promised that to us. So no matter what your circumstances look like, just know God is there to help you and to save you. I've enjoyed being with you today, and just remember that we are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 to 9 o'clock. And you feel free to go on our website, wordoffaithfellowship.org, to see all our many other testimonies and words of encouragement for you. And have a blessed day.
WCAB. As he cited a decrease in gas prices over the last week.
Prices of gas at the gas pump are now down nationally. They're down about 9 cents.
Today, President Biden will deliver the eulogy at the Washington, D.C. funeral of his former colleague in the Senate, Bob Dolb. Former President Trump has 2 weeks to appeal to the Supreme Court after